Hello everyone, good morning. Can anyone confirm audible or not? So you can unmute and talk. If you have anyone have any questions, just you can unmute and talk. Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Newcomers? Any newcomers are there who is joining from today onwards? Any newcomers who is joining from today onwards? Any newcomers who is joining from today onwards? Newcomers who is joining from today onwards, raise your hand. No? Oh, perfect. Okay. So far, what we covered, can anyone tell me? So far, what things we covered? Speak out. Just tell me the topics what we covered. Tell me. Are you able to hear me? You can unmute and talk. In HTML, what topics we covered?
Input types.
Second. On what topics we covered? What topics we covered?
Yeah, yesterday we covered the forms in HTML as well as table tags. Apart from that, we covered the elements and console, inspect elements and default H1, H2, H3, and what default CSS applied to those tags. Those we have discussed from last 4 to 5 classes.
Yeah, table list input controls we discussed. The next one is like inline block level elements. Yes or no?
Yes.
What is the elements, behavior of elements? We check how to check the behavior, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Next developer console window, right? Okay, in this which tags? Okay, which tabs we discussed? One is like elements tab, right? Next
Console
tab, right? Next
network
source, right? Next network. Next application tab, right? Okay. Next, any other things we covered? And you know how to inspect, right?
Yes.
Okay, how to inspect, how we can see the code, what they written. Any website you can go. Okay, you can check what code they written or not. Okay, can anyone explain me? Elements tab contains what? Elements tab contains what? This elements tab contains what? Okay, in the browser, whatever the content is visible to me or visible to you, whatever the content is visible to you, that content related code we can see where? In the elements tab or not? In the left side section. Yes or no? In the right side section, the element applied with which CSS property, which styles, that styles we can see in the right side or not. Left side we can see the code, right side that particular element related styles we can see. What about console? It is a working environment. You can write any JavaScript program and you can run it. At the same time, if you want to log some messages at runtime, you can log. What about network? The network. What about network? Come on, network. The browser sends some request and gets some response. That response only, right, visible to the end user. Yes or no? The request and responses we can track in the network tab or not? That request and responses we can track in the network tab or not? Yes or no? Okay, once my request got completed, that request related response in the file explorer format where we can see. In the file explorer format where we can see. Okay, these many requests sent by my browser to display this page or not. So these requests got completed, right? See this. Okay, you can go to the header, got completed. At the time of Node.js, you can get some more idea. Whatever the request got completed, that request related response in the file explorer format we can see in the source tab or not. Yes or no? Is my voice is clear? Is my voice is clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That is about network and source. What about application tab? What about application tab? Come on. What about application tab? In the application tab, browser storages, we can find it. I can store some data in the browser itself, not in the database, not in the file. Okay, in the browser itself, I can store some data. Okay, that data, whatever you store, physically available in the application tab, like local storage, like session storage, like cookies, like this. Got my point? Okay. Okay then. Now, shall we move to the next topic? Like CSS. Okay, let's move. Any questions, anyone? Otherwise, if not, I can mute all. At last, you can discuss.
Hi, Srinu, this is Biren.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, so can you just open that application tab? Because what is the use of that other one, the local storage and the session storage, private storage, all the things?
This one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can store the data. See here, for example, I want to store some data, local storage dot, okay, name equals to Sachin. I want to store this data. Now go to the application. See, my name Sachin is there or not there?
Okay.
Okay, this particular name Sachin in your application, wherever you want, you can use it. Already your data is there in the local storage. You can get the data programmatically. How we can get, local storage dot get item or local storage dot name. Like this, you can get the data. You can use this data if you want.
Okay.
Got my point?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So application level data, if you want to store, you can store here.
Okay.
In the JavaScript, there has a separate topic is there, browser storages. That time you can get some more idea with some use cases.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Can we store data in Firebase? I mean, what is the purpose of the Firebase?
Okay, here in the React, not in the Angular, most of the times we are going to use like a Firebase to connect with server. Not in this case. Okay, we are not used that one. That tool we not use. Any other questions?
What is the difference between local session and cookies?
No, that depends. Local storage data always persists. Okay, for example, see this, the same tab, if I open duplicate tab, okay, if I open inspect it, okay, go to the net, go to the application, still my name is there or not?
Yes.
Okay, if the same data, if it is like in the session storage, okay, if it is in the session storage, okay, then that time it is available for that particular tab only. It is not available for okay any other. Can I write something like here session storage dot name equals to zone, for example. Now if you observe in the application, okay, session storage, open this one, okay, here name is there, but if you come here in the session storage, that is available only for that particular session. Got my point?
Okay. And cookies?
So again,
Cookies. Hello.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and like, what is the difference between cookies and this storage difference? Like, what is the
Okay,
difference?
cookies data is available for that particular. Okay, two types of cookies are there. One is like in-memory cookie, another one is like persistent cookie. Okay, in-memory cookie is nothing but that particular session only it is going to available. Okay, persistent means sometime. Okay, session storage data only for the tab it is available. But cookies data for the session. Session is nothing but entire window. You can open any number of tabs that is available. You got my point?
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. The Firebase I already told, right? Okay, it's like one kind of platform to develop applications. Okay, you can store the data.
Is it a database or is it server side? I mean,
Okay,
what-
they maintain inbuilt database also. Yeah. To connect with the database, you can write the code. Okay, they maintain the data also. Okay, it's a full-fledged application you can develop. It's a development platform they provide, like Salesforce one platform they provide.
Sir, can we alter data from here, like here in the database?
So again,
Uh, in general, here in the application, we are looking at the data which is available here, right? So local storage, yeah, that we can give and alter. But what about session storage? Do we have any control on that? Index DB, anything, and the rest of other stuff?
no, rest of other stuff is like these are like different ways. In the index DB, in the DB format, you can store the data, tables, rows and columns like that. Different ways we can store the data.
Like how to store it, sir? Like
Okay,
in
that's
what format?
you had right. Okay, here it's a key value pairs data, key value pair, local storage and session storage and cookies. Here tabular format we can pass index DB, web SQL. These all are different formats. That depends.
Is it, I mean, a different language or are you using different keywords?
No,
How, like,
JavaScript. By using JavaScript only. Okay, we are going to
okay.
connect with this and we are going to store the data.
Or even in index database and web
The
SQL?
same. All are like by using JavaScript only we are going to store. Okay, this
Okay.
is available for this particular browser only. These are like browser storages.
Okay.
Okay,
But
now I enter some data here, right? Okay, if I store some data here, that is available
Mhm.
for my browser only. It is not available for you. It is not a global
Okay.
thing. It is specific to browser. These are browser storages.
But in real time, I mean, in general, how do we use it, sir? Like when it comes to an application, like if we are building a web page, how do we use this databases? Like because it's completely local and it's restricted to one browser. So
Yeah,
how we gonna use it?
that's what. See, for example, okay, this storage only you can take. Now, this is my browser, for example. Okay,
Mm.
you are the user. From here, you send one request to the server and get the data. Okay, how we can send a request to the server and get the data? In general, you have to send a request to the server side application, and my server application connect with the database and give the response back to whom? Client or not. So first
Yes.
time you send a request and you get the response. That response you can show here in the tabular format based on your requirement in the browser. You can display it. Okay, so this is my users. Like this, you are the end user. This is the website you are visiting now. Okay, myweb.com. Okay, now these users in 10 places in my web application. Okay, this users button, 10 places are there in my web application. 50 pages are there. Among 50 pages, 10 pages, I have this users button. Now I am in the first page. In my fifth page also, I have the same button. In that page also, I want the data. Then that time, if I move to the fifth page, okay, that is my requirement. See, I am visiting this website now. I'm viewing. Okay, this is specific to my requirement. Some other person is viewing another page maybe. Now first
Mm.
page I visited, I send a request and get the data. If whenever I visited fifth page, the same user's data required, right? Then that time you want me to send a request again?
No.
No, right? That time what I'm going to do, whenever you visited users, okay, first time to get the data from database, you store the data in the browser itself somewhere. You know, you have the browser storage, right?
Yes.
Okay, like that application level, you can write the code. Okay, whenever you move to the 5th page, already my data where
Is
already
in
my
the
data
local
where
browser.
in the browser storage,
Browser.
right?
Mm.
Okay, then the time instead of sending the request to server, can I get the data from here itself? Can you display it? Which one easy for us?
Yes.
Okay, here only, right? So that
Yeah.
data you can store in different format, local storage, session storage, cookies, based on your requirement. So I visited first users so that my browser has the data. If you visited directly second page users not there, and the time in your browser the data is not there.
Okay. So like how to write the code in this
So
case?
that's what application is one for all. Okay, whenever
Okay.
the user visited first page, whenever he click on the button, send a request, get the data, and store the data within the local storage. I'm going to write the code in my application like that.
Okay. Okay.
At the time of clicking on the button, that is the code I want to write.
So using which language? Using JavaScript?
Yes, JavaScript, JavaScript,
Okay.
JavaScript.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Oh, then shall we move to the next topic? Is like CSS. Let me mute all. Oh. Yeah. So if you want to apply some CSS to my element, okay, how many ways are there? If I apply CSS, what happened? That means what is the behavior is going to change based on your CSS properties are applying to my element, right? Okay, how the behavior is going to see, okay, how the behavior is going to change. At the same time, how we can, okay, inspect it, how we can check this property, okay, affected this one, this property. If I write this property, this is affected like this, how we can check. If you know that one, okay, then that time you can go to any website, okay, you can check because of this property, okay, this is the, okay, this particular behavior, okay, applied to this. If this property is not there, this behavior is not applied, like that by your own you can learn. So if you want to apply CSS, okay, first of all, why we go for CSS means very simple. The element behavior is completely depending upon CSS only, right? Already we discussed. So if you want to change the behavior, okay, the look and feel wise, if you want to change it, okay, whatever it is, okay, block level to inline if you want to change, inline to block level if you want to change, if you want to apply some font size, if you want to change the behavior of an element, that is possible by using CSS. That is possible by using CSS. Okay, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. So by applying CSS, we can change the behavior of an element. So how we can apply the CSS? That is the question. So far, if you observe, all the CSS applied by JavaScript, okay, they applied by, okay, HTML people only, right, by default. Now if you see this, open, okay, now for this particular section, okay, this is my h1, this is my h1. See, all these CSS properties by default applied. I didn't apply anything. I didn't apply anything. By default, I apply these many CSS properties to my H1. That's the reason only, right? My H1 is behaving like this. Now this is the time, okay, I want to apply my own CSS. I want to apply my own CSS properties. First of all, if you want to apply CSS, okay, two inputs are required. First, to which element you want me to apply. Okay, get the element first. The next one is like which CSS properties, okay, which CSS properties you want me to apply. CSS properties you want me to apply. Which CSS properties you want me to apply. So first, which element? Let me create one simple file. css.html is my file. Okay, here there has one element is there, such. Okay, to this particular element, I want to apply some color red. Some color red I want to apply. So, which element, to which element you want me to apply the CSS? I have the element called as a div. The next one is like, which CSS properties you want me to apply? Okay, first of all, what is property? Property is nothing but, if you observe here, see, all my CSS properties, these are my CSS properties. Okay, all my CSS properties are like in which format? The CSS properties are like a key value pair format or not. So my CSS properties, if you want to apply, okay, first of all, you have to get it. That means you have to get the key value pairs or not. You have to get the key value pairs. Property is nothing but it is a key value pair. So I want to apply color so that the CSS properties, see how many CSS properties are there. These many CSS properties are there. Okay, you can see. A, okay, starts with A. These many CSS properties are there. B, okay, like this multiple CSS properties keys are there. So one of the CSS property key is color. See this color. Now select this color and click on the tab. Now we can come to the value part. Color is a key. Now this is, okay, my value names, or these are my value names or not. So one of the value name, which value name you want? Red, you want red. So my color is my key and my red is my value. That means key value, both we can find in the browser itself or not. Key and values, both you can find in the browser itself or not. Okay, no need to remember all. Okay, font size, see this font size. Click on the tab. Font size is the key. Click on the tab. Now these many values are there. Okay, which one you want? Okay, just you can use that. So that, okay, I need a CSS property. Property is nothing but it is a key value pair. Which key? Color is my key. Which value? Red is my value or not. The next, one more CSS property. Font size is the key and my value is like some size 30 pixel. Pixel is like a units in CSS, we'll discuss. So I have an element. I have the CSS properties, nothing but key value pairs. If you have an element and if you have a CSS properties, now can we apply these CSS properties to this element? This is the time you have to do it. You have to apply, okay, these CSS properties. How many CSS properties? 2 CSS properties. These 2 CSS properties, can you apply to this particular element? Then how I can apply? How many ways are there? How many ways are there? If you have an element, if you have a CSS properties list with you, how many ways we can apply those CSS properties list to my element? Means 3 ways are there. 3 ways. Okay, one is like, okay, inline styling. Through inline styling, I can apply the CSS properties to my element. Another one is like internal styling. By using internal styling, I can apply the CSS properties to my element. The next one is like external styling. By using these 3 ways, okay, any one of these way you can choose. By using inline, internal and external, we can add these CSS properties to this particular element. Okay, so shall we go with the first way, inline styling? Okay, let's go to our page. Okay, this is my page. In my page, there has div is there, one more para. Okay, there has one more element. Okay, done. Now my requirement is Sachin Kohli Dravid. I want in the red color. I want in the red color. Some font size, if you want to apply, you can apply it. So through which styling? Inline styling. If you want to apply the CSS through inline styling, that is possible by using style attribute. So what is an attribute? Attribute is a key value pair. Always it is placed in the open tag. So by using style attribute, we can apply inline styling. So can I go to our page? which element you want me to apply inline styling? FOPH1. By using which attribute? Style attribute. Attribute is nothing but what? In the open tag, it's a key and value pair or not. So what is the key? Style is the key. So can I write like key and value pair here? If you want to apply the inline styling, that is possible by using style attribute. By using style attribute. Attribute is always placed where? In the open tag. Okay, in the form of what attribute? It is a key value pair or not? Yes or no? So now by using style tag, I can apply inline styles to this particular element. So which styles you want me to apply? Okay, which CSS properties you want me to apply? One CSS property is what? Color. Okay, the value is what? Red. Another CSS property is what? Font size. The value is what? 100 pixels. See? Okay, my key value, key to value, you can differentiate by using colon. One key value pair to another key value pair, we can differentiate by using semicolon like this. Okay, done. Now the same key value pairs can I apply to my Kohli? Can I apply to my Dravid also? Now can I run this? Now can I run this? Yes. Now see this? My Sachin, Kohli, Dravid. Applied or not? Through which styling? Through which styling? Through inline styling. If you apply some CSS properties by using style attribute, that kind of styling, what we can say? That kind of styling we can say like what? Inline styling or not? All are agreed? Yes or no? If you want to apply some CSS properties, first of all, two inputs are required. One is like to which element, another one is like which CSS properties. Property is nothing but a key value pair. These key value pairs you can get it from browser itself. Browser itself you can get it. Once you have the element and key value pairs, how many ways we can apply these CSS properties to this element means 3 ways are there. One is inline styling, internal and external. Inline styling, how we can apply? By using style attribute. So go to that element. Okay, write the style attribute. Attribute is nothing but key value pair. Key is a style. The value is what you know. Whatever the CSS properties you want me to apply, okay, those CSS properties you can place. Color red is one CSS property. Font size. Color red, font size. Like that you can apply. Got my point? Yes or no? Through inline styling, can we apply the CSS properties like this? Through inline styling, can we apply some CSS properties like this? So can I rename like inline? Yes. Now by seeing this code, okay, what drawbacks you found? Can anyone tell? Observe here. See here, color red font size. Color red font size. How many times you written this code? 3 times. In future, for example, 100 elements are there. How many times you need to write? 100 times. Okay, it's a kind of, see, duplicate code or not. Writing the duplicate code, any programming language, it is not a recommended one. Okay, you written the duplicate code in each and every element level or not. For example, if you want to change red to blue, how many places you need to do? 1, 2, 3 places or not. So can I say those are like a drawbacks? One is like what? Written duplicate code or not. The next one is like, okay, making the changes costly or not. Very difficult to do the change in each and every okay element or not. You have to go to that element, you have to do the change like that. Each and every element you have to go and you have to do the change or not. It is not a recommended one. All are okay? Go on. Agreed with me? So to overcome those drawbacks, they introduced which styling? They introduced internal styling. So how we can apply internal styling? Inline or internal, whatever it is, inputs are same. Inputs are same. Now the way of applying the CSS styling is like different. Now I want to go with internal styling. If you want to go with internal styling, how we can apply the CSS properties to my element? You know, by using style attribute, not style tag. Now by using style tag. Now can I place like internal styling? Internal styling. Okay, now already I know the drawbacks of inline styling. I don't want to go with that. I don't want to go with. Okay, now if you not write any CSS, okay, that CSS obviously not applied. So can I write like internal? There is no effects, nothing. But our requirement, you know, I want to apply color red, some font size. Now through inline, through internal styling. If you want to apply the internal styling, then you can go with what? Style tag. So how we can write the style tag? Okay, open less than greater than, closing less than greater than. Okay, here. This is your tag or not. So if you write the style tag inside the HTML, this section is used for what? To apply the CSS properties to the elements through internal styling. If you see this code anywhere in the HTML file, if you see the style tag, okay, you can say, you can understand like, okay, whatever the CSS properties you placed here, those CSS properties applied for these elements through internal styling. If you see the style tag at element level, then you can understand like these CSS properties are applied to that element through inline styling. Like that, you can understand. So let's start. Now, through internal styling, if you want to apply the CSS properties, inputs are same. Which element, which properties. Okay, to which element you want me to apply, which properties you want me to apply, both are like you are having. So internal styling, how we can apply? Okay, you can write the syntax. First of all, in the style tag, you have to place the code. I written the style tag. If you want to apply some internal styling, the syntax is like this. Okay, to which element you want me to apply? Select that element. I can say like a selector. Which CSS properties you want me to apply? Can you wrap all the CSS properties in the, okay, by using okay, this expression or braces. Okay, here you can place like any number of CSS properties. That's it. Okay, to which element select it? To which element you want me to apply CSS properties? I know that. First div I want to apply. So this is the name selector. Select the element using the name. What is the name of the element? Div. Which CSS properties you want me to apply? Color is the key and my value is what? Red. Okay, one more. Font size is my key. Font size is my key and my value is what? And my value is what? My value is like 100 pixel or not. My value is like 100 pixel or not. Agree with me? Okay, now can you come here? Can I refresh the page? Yes, apply. Okay, now the same thing I want for another element, another one. Now for my P and for my H1 also or not. Now can you come here? Can I refresh? Yes, my requirement satisfied or not. But here if you observe, again you written the duplicate code, right? Here. It is not a recommended one. So through internal styling, if you want to apply the same CSS properties for multiple elements, don't write the code again and again. To which elements you want me to apply these CSS properties, just put the selector with comma separation. I want to apply for div, I want to apply for my para, I want to apply for my H1, the same CSS properties. Now working as expected or not. Now tell me, whatever the drawbacks are there in the inline, you are able to overcome those drawbacks or not. First drawback is what? You written the duplicate code. Am I written the duplicate code anywhere? Am I written the duplicate code anywhere? No. The next one is like making the changes are like costly. Now, if you want to do red to blue, okay, you want me to write the code or change how many places? Okay, multiple places or only one place? Only one place is enough or not. Got my point? Yes or no? Agreed with me? So whatever the drawbacks are there in the inline styling, yes, I'm able to overcome those drawbacks or not. I'm able to overcome those drawbacks or not. Agreed? Okay, if there is no drawbacks, nothing is there in the internal styling, then why they introduced external? That means there has some drawbacks are there in the internal styling also. What are the drawbacks in the internal styling? Okay, let's take one simple scenario. I have one, okay, application is there. One application is like a quick info, for example. In the quick info, multiple teams we have, okay, India. Okay, the next one is like Aussies. The next one is like West Indies. Like this, multiple teams are there. Each and every team has multiple players like this. Each and every team has multiple players. Now, let me take this one. Okay, India, these many players we have. Okay, the next one is like Aussies. Okay, these many players we have. Okay. Okay, West Indies, again these many players we have. Okay, these many players are there. So my question is, my requirement is, all the players I want in the red color, font size 100 pixel. That's my question. Now, don't think like a page level, application level you can think. In my Quick Info application, there has 3 pages over there. Each and every page has some players. That players I want in the red color with some font size. So, you know, two ways to apply the CSS so far. One is like inline, another one is like internal. Inline styling, we are going to apply at the element level. Okay, you know that what is the drawbacks. Okay, here, we are going to write the same code. To overcome that problem only, we introduced internal styling. Through internal styling, I'm able to apply the CSS. So, can I apply that CSS for my assist players? This is which kind of styling? Internal styling. Yes. For my India players also, can I apply? Yes. Okay. For my West Indies players also, can I apply? Yes. This is which kind of styling? This is which kind of styling? This is internal styling. Now, can you go here, go to Quick Info. Can we run this? Open. Yes, it is working as expected. The next one is like India. Open. The next one is like West Indies, you can go. West Indies, you can go. Okay, if you observe here, say this. Okay, yes, all these 3 countries players having, okay, these CSS properties, that is only my requirement. But here the problem is, if you observe application level, each and every page, again, you written the same kind of code or not. Now, you written the duplicate code at page level or not. In the past, you written the duplicate code at element level, inline styling. Again, you written the code at page level or not in your application. So, if you want to change color blue to red in my application player names, okay, first you have to open this one, you have to make the changes like red, and then you have to open this file and you have to make the changes like red, and you have to open this one, you have to make these changes like red. Now see this. Now, can you say the drawback of internal styling? Okay, you written the duplicate code at the page level or not. At page level or not, India, Pak, Assist. You written the duplicate code at element level or not. Whatever it is, duplicate code written, writing the duplicate code is not a recommended one. Making the changes very costly. Why? Because open the page, do the change. Open the page, do the change. Making the changes are like very costly or not. So These are the drawbacks of internal styling or not. So to overcome those drawbacks, okay, they introduced one more styling, external styling. Don't write the CSS at the element level. Don't write the CSS at page level. Create a separate CSS file. Okay, separate CSS file. Whatever the CSS syntactically, whatever the CSS you written for the internal styling, syntax never change. The way of applying the styles change. Syntax never change. Okay, the same syntax you can place it. Okay, whatever the code here, just remove it. Whatever the code you written at page level, now you can remove it. Now you can remove it. If I remove this one, okay, if I remove this one, is my styles are applied? Is my styles are applied? I removed, I place inside one more file. Now see this, now my styles are not applying. Now my styles are not applying. Why? Very simple. Right click and inspect it. Now go to my network. Now see this, my browser send how many requests? Only one request. That particular file data only loaded or not. That particular file data only loaded. But my CSS where you written in another separate CSS file, for that file my browser not requested or not. If the CSS file not loaded, then what it is going to, okay, apply to my elements. It is not applied anything to my elements or not. So you have to write the code to load your CSS file or not. So how we can write the code here to load one CSS file in your HTML while loading means we have a separate file. Okay, element is there, link is the tag. Okay, here the attributes, mandatory attributes. To represent it is a style sheet. Style sheet is the property, relation style sheet. My href is nothing but where is your CSS file? In my, okay, styles.css in the same folder or not. Now, can you come here, assist.html, can you open? This is the one. Can you inspect this one? Can you go to the network? Now my browser sent how many requests? One request for HTML, one request for CSS, so that those two are loaded. Now my CSS loaded inside the browser, then the time my browser trying to use this CSS and apply the CSS properties, the elements which are having the name div para h1 or not. Got my point? So while loading, make sure your CSS file should load inside the browser or not. Okay, but in India, okay, now come here, my browser not send any request to get the CSS file. Only one request my browser sent now. Only one request my browser sent. Now that is india.html, but it is not requested for the styles file. So can I copy this one? Can I place here? Now my browser send a request for my CSS file or not? Yes. Okay, so the same theory can I apply for my West Indies also? Done. Now can you come here? Now it is applied or not? Now tell me how many times you written the code? Only one time. If you want to do the change red to blue, then the time how many places are required? Okay, only one place my change is required. Okay, enough. Okay, yes. Like this, we can overcome the problems of my internal styling or not. So finally, which one is the recommended one? At application level, if you develop any React application or Angular application, which kind of styling is recommended one? Always go with the external styling. Create one .css extension file and write your code. Okay, just you can link that particular CSS file. Then the time my browser load that CSS file, send the request to that CSS file and get that CSS file, and then it is going to apply the CSS properties to my elements or not. Got my point? These are the three ways to apply the CSS to my elements. So the next one is like priority order. Okay, priority order.html. Now I have one h1 is there. Okay, Sachin. To this particular element, if I apply the CSS by using style attribute, it is what? Inline styling. If I apply the CSS by using style tag, that is what? Style tag. That is what? Internal styling. Okay, outside you can keep it. Internal styling. I have one CSS file is there. My styles dot CSS. In the H1, my color is like blue. Now, how we can load that CSS file here? How we can load the CSS file? Link relation equals to style sheet and href equals to, where is my file? The same folder. My styles.css is my folder. Done. Now, if you observe this, to my same element, you applied inline styling. To my same element H1, you applied internal styling. To my same element H1, you applied external styling. Okay, to the same element, if you apply inline, internal, and external, okay, which CSS property gets the first priority? Inline style CSS property, internal styling, external styling, red, yellow, blue. Okay, my Sachin, okay, visible in which color? Red, blue, or yellow? Can I run this one? Can I run this one? Now say this, it is visible in the red color. That means, now can I go to my H1? Now see this, my color red inline gets the first priority or not? Now my internal and my external, okay, not gets the priority. Okay, that means not applied or not. It is not get the chance or not. Why? Because always inline is the first priority. If the inline is not there, after that, who get the priority? Internal. If the internal also not there, after that, who get the priority? External or not. So the priority order is inline first, internal next, after that external. This is the priority order. If you try to apply the same CSS properties, okay, that means, okay, the CSS property applied for the element in multiple ways, inline, internal, and external, which one get the priority? If anybody asks, okay, the question answer is inline first get the priority, inline greater than, internal greater than, external, you can say. Okay, my question, I don't want to consider the priority order. I want, okay, this blue only apply to my element. If you want to, if you don't want to consider the priority order, one CSS property, if you want to apply directly, that make, okay, you can make that CSS property like an important. Whenever you make the CSS properties like an important, okay, remaining all CSS properties override by this one. Finally, this one only gets the priority. Here it is not considered any priority order. It is inline, internal, external. It is not considered which one is like having important, okay, exclamatory important. That CSS property only get the first priority. Got my point? So the priority order is what? Inline greater than, internal greater than, external. If you don't want to priority order, if you don't want to consider the priority order and you want to apply some CSS property to the element directly, make that CSS property like an important like this. Then that time this one only gets the first priority. Okay, this is the way we can apply the CSS properties to my element. These are the ways: inline, internal, and external. So any questions, anyone? Anyone have any questions?
Yes, sir. So suppose I have a multiple divs, for example, like the we have created div. Suppose the 3 divs we have created,
Yeah.
and one div, suppose I want to do like blue, other div I want to yellow. In this case, how can I do that?
Yeah, then that time you can go with the selectors concept. Okay, that is our next level topic.
Okay.
By using selectors, okay, which element you want to select, directly you can select that element. Instead of here, okay, you can put the selector, particular element you can put it. Okay, that is first child, last child, ID, yeah, like this multiple selectors are there. ID, class name, first child, last child, plus, greater than, tilde, like that multiple selectors are there. Okay, by using the selectors, exactly which element you want, select that element, which properties you want to apply those properties.
Oh.
Any other questions? Okay, go to this website. Okay, complete these two. Okay, you already done with HTML, right? Okay, complete this HTML. Okay, the next one is like CSS. Okay, complete these two. Okay, tomorrow's topic, the next topic is like box model and selectors, so that you can read it, you can easily understand selectors and box model. Okay, read it and come for the next class. Okay, next class is on Monday. Any questions? If you don't have any questions, you can drop. Anyone?
Sir, can you please show that like how to restrict right click on a page?
Okay, you have to write some JavaScript code.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll show you that whenever you create an application.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any questions, anyone? If not, we can drop. The next class is on Monday. Meanwhile, you can complete HTML and CSS, these 4 topics. Apply styles, box model, and selectors. You can read and come.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, when in some login forms, it will ask for save password kind of option will come in browser.
Yeah.
So the data will save in cookie or session
Cookie,
storage or
that depends. Cookies most of the times. Remember that password.
okay, it will
That
automatically.
is like, okay, not in memory cookie, it's like okay, persistent cookie. It is always available. Okay, in the hard disk it is going to store. Whenever you reset the hard disk, okay, you format your system, then that time it is gone until unless it is available always. Okay.
So it will be saved for that particular system.
Yeah. So for that particular session, for that particular URL, local storage, session storage, cookies data always stored for that particular URL.
So means if I log in one system and after that I log in another system, it will
No,
the saved password will
not
be.
another system, another system, not that is specific to that browser, that system.
Oh, thank you.
Any questions, anyone? Well, then we'll continue more things in the next session. Next session on Monday. Thank you, guys. Bye.